A shooting outside of a D.C. school leaves 2 students injured. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. D.C. police are investigating shootings involving teenagers near 2 city schools. One occurred around 10 this morning just outside the Ideal Public Charter School on Lee Street in Northeast. Authorities say a 15-year-old is in custody for allegedly shooting 2 classmates. Police Chief Robert Conti says the 3 students got into a dispute after leaving the school building.
Shortly after them leaving the school, there was an altercation that occurred just outside of the school between these 3 students. One of those students produced a firearm firing, and 2 students were struck as a result who were involved in this altercation. This is a very unfortunate situation. It's very tragic that we're seeing firearms in the hands of young people who should not have them, and as a result of that, we have 2 young people suffering from gunshot wounds.
In a separate incident this morning, a young person was shot in Southeast, about a block from Bard High School. African-American women are taking their own safety into their own hands. Today, we visited a firearms training center at National Harbor to understand why.
With violent crime up across the nation, it's no surprise that many Americans are choosing to purchase a gun to protect themselves and their loved ones. What is surprising is the number of African-American women choosing to do so. They represent the fastest growing population of gun owners in the country, up 20% from 2019 to 2021, according to a 2021 National Firearms Survey. The reasons vary, but the most common is that they don't trust anyone more than themselves to keep them safe.
I would rather be prepared for a situation than to have a situation come upon me and I am not prepared for it.
I need to make sure that I'm safe, and if my family is with me, I need to make sure they're safe. I have 2 grandchildren. I need to protect them at all costs when they're around me, and I don't want to feel helpless. If I can protect myself, I want to be able to do that.
Locally, women are learning about guns and gun safety in the heart of the National Harbor with weapons just like this. Working with an agency called the Boom Boom Firearm Training Center right here in the nation's capital, with instructor, retired Air Force weapons instructor Mary Pitt.
Some of the things that we train about is basic fundamentals, making certain person's hand grips are important, how their stance, how to make sure that they are holding the gun properly, making certain that they're learning about trigger control, trigger squeeze, breath control. Another thing that's really important is how to do something basic as loading a firearm, loading a magazine.
The laser shot simulator that they use is the same simulator used by the military and police departments. Mary, who served a tour in Iraq and Afghanistan, has a true passion for gun safety and teaching others. She is, however, concerned with the changes to Maryland's concealed and carry law that now leaves it open to anyone who wants one for personal protection.
Don't just get enough to get your permits. Take training on a regular basis or monthly basis and go and continue to be proficient in using your handguns. And that's the key, not to just get your guns and store them away, but to get them and then take the responsibility of being a gun owner serious.
Concerned about kids and guns in the wake of local and national tragic news stories, Mary has created a nonprofit called Youth Gun Safety, Inc. Children are taught to stay away from firearms and to tell an adult if they come across one and not to touch it.
Our goal is to reach as many as we can so that we can give them proper training, so we can keep our children to help them to live long, safety lives.
Boom Boom Firearms Training has a 5-star rating on Google with comments from over 500 people. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers rounding out the month of August. According to the Maryland Department of Health, there were nearly 31,000 infections for the entire month. Of those, nearly 6,700 were in Prince George's County. The county's positivity rate is at 11.82%. It started the month above 15%. Statewide, 193 Marylanders have died of COVID during August, including the 13th over the past 24 hours. 509 people are hospitalized. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. Back in a moment.
I'm Byron Scott at Central Baptist Church of Camp Springs, and if cleanliness is next to godliness, take a look at these pallets. I'll explain what it's all about coming up.
This is my house. My parents helped build it. Now we don't get wet when it rains. I don't get too hot or too cold inside. I can play with my sister, I can play with my brother, I can play with my mother, my father, my family. This is my house.
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 Visit Habitat.org to find out how you can help more families like mine.
8 months after the mayor of Hyattsville committed suicide comes a legal complaint that Kevin Ward embezzled more than $2 million from KIPP DC. Before the 44-year-old was elected to the position, he served as a senior director of technology for KIPP DC. In that capacity, he had free range to purchase items like computers and software for the system's some 7,000 students. Federal court documents allege that Ward created 2 computer tech companies that he paid for laptops and computers that they never received. Lawyers are seeking to recover funds from Ward's estate. The state's Inspector General for Education issued a report critical of an ethics report targeting elected members of the county school board. The Inspector General began his investigation in September of 2021 after receiving complaints that the ethics board used taxpayer money to conduct an improper investigation of several elected board members. Inspector General Richard Henry says the report was improperly referenced and inaccurate. The probe by the ethics panel cost the school system more than $100,000. Now, you may recall that the panel resigned en masse after Henry began his investigation. He concluded that he found no violation of criminal law by the ethics panel. A Prince George's County church is on a mission to spread the love. And as Byron Scott reports, the Central Baptist Church of Camp Springs has been blessed with so much hand sanitizer, it's on a mission to give it all away.
Okay, so what we have over here.
At Central Baptist Church of Camp Springs,
Let me show you what's in the box first.
under the blue tarp,
As you can see, we have lots of boxes.
hundreds of boxes, in fact, of hand sanitizer. And Pastor Lincoln Burris Jr. is on a goodwill mission to give it all away.
Well, we've been giving it out to schools, to police stations, to our parishioners. We have a food distribution. Another one of our partners, St. Stephen's Baptist Church, they have a food distribution. They take it to their church. They pass it out. We've been giving it out to other churches, people in the community. Anybody that wants hand sanitizer, we give it away.
Central Baptist of Camp Springs is part of a coalition of churches in the area that work to acquire the shipment.
Somebody said, hey, we have hand sanitizer. We need a place for it to go. The church, they couldn't house it, so they sent it all here.
But Burris says it was a lot more than he anticipated.
I didn't expect this much. I had no idea. They just said we have some truckloads of hand sanitizer. I said, okay, fine.
Each box contains 12 bottles of hand sanitizer. They arrived here from Texas back in July, and there were so many pallets out here that they extended back another 4 parking spaces. Church member Julian Smith chipped away at the mountain of boxes by taking more than a dozen.
COVID's out, it's still out here and everything, so, trying to protect everybody close to me. Like, I have a daughter in Alabama. I'm gonna send her mother some. I got family that's, elderly and stuff. Pretty much just try to help everybody in my family that I can.
If you can recall, 2 years ago, hand sanitizer was a hot commodity, but now we've been blessed to bless the community, especially when things are beginning to open back up and we hear about monkeypox and COVID is still relevant. Schools are opening back up. It's just great to have it on hand to give away to those who need it in the community.
Again, Burris is putting out a come and get it, and it's free of charge.
Once again, if you're in need of hand sanitizer, 5600 Old Branch Avenue, Central Baptist Church, Camp Springs, come on by between the hours of 9 and 5, Tuesday through Thursday, and help yourself. Thank you so very much.
Byron Scott, CTV News.
Again, that's Central Baptist Church of Camp Springs. The address is 5600 Old Branch Avenue in Temple Hills, Monday through Thursday from 9 to 5. And coming up after the break, we check in with our Pet of the Week. Stay with us.
Baby, you see, I
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The county's long-standing ban on pit bulls is now in federal court. A suit has been filed alleging that the county's ban on pit bulls violates the U.S. Constitution. A Laurel family involved in the case says their 2 dogs, which are emotional support animals, were taken by the county. The county has banned residents from owning pit bulls since 1997. An MS13 gang member pleads guilty to conspiracy to extort business owners in Maryland. He's 27-year-old Hilmer Hernandez Alvarado from Hyattsville. Officials say while a member of the Fulton clique of MS13, he conspired to extort rent payments from business owners in Langley Park. Hernandez Alvarado faces up to 20 years in prison. Well, all across Maryland, flags have been lowered to half-staff to mark International Overdose Awareness Day. Every year on August 31st, people across the world take time to honor their loved ones who have died from drug overdoses. Here in Maryland, the government house in Annapolis will be lit up in purple tonight in remembrance. Meantime, if you are struggling with an addiction to drugs, help is available. Marylanders can contact the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. Sports news is an exciting time at the University of Maryland as multiple sports teams begin their season. The Lady Terps soccer team has scored 3 straight ties to open the 2022 season. Head coach Megan Nensmer says her 2022 Terp squad is highly competitive and a passionate group.
We're really excited about the upcoming season. I think if you've watched us over the last couple of weeks, we've gotten better 1% every single day, and that's been our mentality. What I'm excited about is that you're going to see a quality soccer playing team that understands what their roles are. Defensively, we definitely want to be a lot more disciplined, not giving up any more goals. And on the attacking side, a little bit more creativity. You know, I think once you get into this area, you just can't shoot from 25, 30 yards out, and that's something that we're working on with 3- and 4-player movement. But they've bought in. They're all in on it.
If you could describe this team in one word, what would it be and why?
I would say passionate. And I think the reason why is because a lot of these players, it's 20 new faces. They came in on a time, obviously a new coach, a program that has had the history of doing well, and they're passionate about playing better soccer. They're passionate about getting the results, having Maryland pride, and getting the program back to where it needs to be. So I would say passion.
The Lady Terps play their first home game against Georgetown tomorrow at 7 o'clock. An adorable 4-legged feline is looking for a forever home. Meet Tabitha. She's a 2-year-old domestic short-hair brown tabby. She's been at the facility for over a month now. Animal management says Tabitha is sweet and playful.
She would do better in a lower energy home. I don't think she would very much enjoy kids running around and picking her up, things like that, with her little bit of sassiness, but she would definitely enjoy a lower energy, being able to just hang out, get pets when she wants, and kind of do her own thing.
For more information on Tabitha or any of her furry friends, contact Animal Management at 301-780-7201. Let's get a quick check now on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, clear skies and cool with a low around 63, thank goodness. Thursday, sunny with a high near 88 and an evening low around 63. Friday, partly sunny with daytime temps in the mid-80s and a low around 67. Saturday, cloudy and warm with highs around 87 with a low around 68. And that's CTV News for now. I'm Taylor Thomas. Thanks for joining us. Good night.